Hi, my name is Manny Billy, and I am the author of the book, The Art of Falling in Love with Your Time on Earth. So instead of doing classes, I just thought that I would like to have some lectures on YouTube that people could refer to whenever they wanted, and it wouldn't be like you had to be in class at 11 o'clock or whatever. But anyhow, the subject of my discussion today is The School Called Life. So, The School Called Life, which is my next book that's going to be coming out, is about the lessons that we're here to learn. Basically, as I said in my previous video, we're here to develop our soul. We're here to learn to love ourselves. And the first step is to learn to love yourself, but then the second step is to learn to love your fellow man as yourself, okay? Then the third step is to teach by the example that you set, not what you say, but what you do. And so just to refresh a little bit, what we do for ourselves is we give ourselves unconditional love, we give up the attachment to love, and we do not judge, okay? Ourselves, because we're learning, we're here to learn, so we don't know how to do everything. So if we make a mistake, that's okay. We go on and we learn from it and we don't do it again, okay? But now what I'm going to talk about a little bit is the second step. The second step is to learn to love your fellow man as yourself. Okay, so basically the way we start there is the same way as by the way we're thinking. We're thinking about good people who might be in difficult circumstances, so we give them the benefit of the doubt. We give them unconditional love. We give up the attachment to that unconditional love, and we do not judge. Okay, one of the main things that I wanted to try to get across today was the fact that we're all different and we're all growing at our own rate. And it really has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how we use our power of choice, our free will is what I'd like to call it. So you can go into a church and start shooting people, and that's not in anybody's plan, God's plan, or anybody's plan. But then you could help people. So what happens is, just like I used the example of school, you can ascend and move ahead, like second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. You can stay in the same place if you don't want to deal with your lessons, or you can descend and go backwards. So, but once we understand that it has nothing to do with age, and the example that I like to give for people, let's just say that you're 30 years old, and you're trying to teach somebody that's 60 years old algebra, and they haven't learned what 2 plus 2 is, as far as spiritually speaking goes. So how would we expect them to know what we know? So if little Johnny was 7 years old and he was in the second grade, you wouldn't expect him to know how to do algebra. But yet, based on the choices that people made, somebody, like your parents, they don't know everything, any more than we do. So it just makes me really sad that some of the choices that young kids have made to turn to drugs because they can't understand the pressure and so forth. And I'll get into that more in a later video, but it's just like I give all these examples of true stories that have happened. So we have the power to choose. So just to give you a clear example would be that this really happened here locally. Two guys were going down the highway, and one guy was kind of in a hurry, and he cut the other guy off. And so the other guy said, well, you know what? I'm going to teach that guy a lesson. So what he did is he got on his bumper, and then he made the first guy mad, and they both pulled over. Well, you know what happened next? They got in a fight. And what happened next is one guy killed the other guy with a knife in front of his 8-year-old daughter. So what happened to them? One guy died. The other guy's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. How it traumatized the daughter, the family, the parents, the whole thing. So using your power of choice wisely, I don't think in this world that we really need to teach anybody else a lesson, okay? So let's take that same example of what could have happened, okay? Once we start learning to think about what it is we're thinking about, that as soon as my stomach started to go into a bit of a knot, I could have said to myself, no, I don't need to teach anybody a lesson. And so I changed the thought. So thinking about what I'm thinking about. So instead of thinking to myself, the first response, I'm going to teach him a lesson. But what if I said, well, I wonder if he's going to the hospital because his dad just had a heart attack? Well, then would my empathy for him kick in? And wouldn't I want to help him? And wouldn't I just want to get out of his way? And by getting out of his way, instead of having my stomach in a knot, feeling what a jerk that guy is, I pulled over and I helped someone that I didn't even know. And I feel great about it. So, the other thing is that your thoughts really do affect your health. So, and I'm going to give you one more example today. I used to go to some classes and spiritual classes, and we'd go out. This one particular night, we went to Denny's, and the waitress had really done a terrible job, didn't refill the drinks, didn't do anything right. And so one of the people there said, well, you know what? I want to make sure she doesn't think that we forgot about her tip. So they put a nickel on the table. And I had made a commitment to myself that I would give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So as soon as that hit me that way, I thought, well, what if she found out that her kids are sick, or her husband left her today, or that she had cancer, or her parents had cancer? So what I said to the group was that I said, anytime I have a negative thought about somebody else, especially like in a restaurant, I'm going to double the tip because I don't want to do that. What I want to do is be a help to humanity. I want to make people feel better, and I want to feel better. So I doubled the tip, and I put $2 down there, and most everyone else did too. And the neat thing about that is you could take the same situation, and the girls put the dollar bills in the shape of a heart. And when we walked out of there, instead of saying, I am never coming back to this place, it's terrible, I hate it, blah, 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 we felt 10 feet tall because we'd helped someone that we didn't even know. So the choice is up to us. We're here to develop our soul. Can you proclaim your rarity as an individual? Can you go another mile when somebody makes you mad? Okay? Can you use your power of choice wisely? Can you choose to love, not to hate? Can you choose to build, not to destroy? Can you do all things with love? So that's what we're here to learn about. So my point in this little video is, can you put yourself in the other person's place? What if your husband had just left you today? Or what if your wife had just left you today? Can we cut you a little bit of slack? Can we learn to give unconditional love to one another, starting with ourselves? Because, that affects our health. And, it's like politics. I'm not getting into politics, but what I'm saying is, why can't we have a discussion and just be human beings and be Americans and, be in the world and make the world a better place? No one's going to do it for us. It's up to us. So what I am saying is that think about how you think. Remember in my last video, I said that your mind is like a garden, and a garden left unattended, the weeds will take over the garden. So why think negatively? turn it into a positive? Why think about what you can't do? Why don't you think about what you can do? Can we become the wise master of our soul's development? I think we can. And maybe in some small way today, if this video has helped us create an awakening in you, that you said, well, you know what? Now, maybe Manny's right, that I will become the teacher, not the student. And we're all students and we're all teachers. But my point is that the situation doesn't make the person, it reveals them. So what kind of person do you want to be? I want to be a person that helps make the world greater. And I'll be doing quite a few little videos on health and different things here on YouTube that you can click onto at any time. And I just thank you for your time, and I ask you to seize the day and learn to love yourself unconditionally. And then once you do that, apply the same principles to your fellow man. Give yourself unconditional love. You didn't know, so you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. So if you didn't know, then, you know, how are we going to find out? Well, it's called the school called life. That's what it's all about. So I ask you to seize the day, and I ask you also to just enjoy your life. I wrote a poem called I'll Be Happy Tomorrow. But you know what? Tomorrow never comes. Today's what we got. So I'm asking you to seize the day. So you have a good one, and I love you, and I wish and hope for the best for you. Have a good one. Thank you very much for your time.